Okay, so good morning to all of you. We're just about to go live on Facebook. I think we have, subject to if Zoom behaves or doesn't. But either, sorry, not Zoom, but Facebook. It's Monday. We have exactly 2 weeks before we go on break. For those of you that have been following us all this while, thank you for staying faithful to our platform. We need to take a break. We've been running with this year since, since whenever. And we are taking a break in December and back mid-January, just to kind of relax. We've been doing these nonstop, and you can imagine the amount of work we're putting into these things. But then tuning in as you in the bus or as office or early morning on Mondays, we are grateful that I always make a point to emphasize that Mondays we have myself teaching whatever I teach on Mondays, and then on Tuesday we have Sylvia doing her mindset change program, and next year Wednesday we have Anne Bachita, Thursday we have Dr. Nelly, and then Friday we have our open presentation. And being the end of the year, I am just getting ready to set up for the Unleashing Your Destiny program. We all have programs that we help people to kind of run and get the year started on a very, very positive note. I am no exception. I will be running my program, the Unleashing Your Destiny coaching program. And so those of you that will be willing and are interested will certainly be able to tune in and be part of that. And of course, these programs come at a fee. So you will learn about the fees and what's involved. But there's a component that's actually available for free. And that's what proves to me that many people just aren't serious about, doing something to change their lives. They have this wish, this desire, but it's not a burning desire, in the words of Napoleon Hill and many other trainers. Do you have a burning desire? Answer is no. Majority of people just have wishes. That's what they have. So because they have wishes, they don't do what it takes to come out of where they are. And that's why they remain stuck in that state forever and ever. And anyway, we are glad to be here. And today, no exception, we get into the first of these very exciting lessons, and that's the business of you. We're dealing with a series I'm calling Future Skills to Master Today. We did an overview, and today I'm coming into the first most important aspect, managing the business of you. You are a business. Now, on my last visit to the UK, I could not help but be intrigued by the fact that whenever we would visit a single fuel attendant in sight, okay? And some of these stations had as many as 16 fueling bays. Cars would simply pull up, drivers alight from their vehicles, select amount of fuel needed, then tap their Visa card on the built-in point of sale, and voila, fuel is ready to be dispensed, which they would do on their own until amount paid for is filled, then leave. Can you imagine that? If they need their car washed, they then proceeded to the drive-through washing bay and finished the inside on their own with automated vacuum machines, all this without a single attendant in sight. Okay, the entire station would have one shopkeeper inside the station managing the mini mart, as well as keeping an eye on various transactions taking place through CCTV system, which is located around the station. Thus, every serving bay and the general views of the station are visible, not to mention the mini mart itself. If this were in Africa, a 16-bay filling station would employ at least 20 plus attendants, maybe 10, okay? Though this may sound far-fetched to the uninformed, I foresee the same here in Africa in less than 10 years from now. Maybe because we're so labor sensitive in the fact that we've got completely no, well, jobs are a whole different story over here. Maybe we'll still be doing that 10 years from now. But to be honest, fuel attendant, that's a job going out, okay? Now, in view of the changing job landscape, now more than ever, it is imperative that individuals learn how to become more powerful. Skill that one would need to master is the business of self-management of you. Self-management, okay? As we head into the future, the one key skill that is becoming more relevant and likely is freelancing, gig management, G-I-G, okay? The concept there is that with the uncertainty of jobs, shorter contracts, more farm employees whole freelancing attraction fool you, okay? It is far harder to get work done this way, and the number of skills you need to ensure your ability to increase your value is far greater. This is why the series that we're running now for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll continue next year, is being run to alert you to 11 critical skills that you must possess. And I listed these last week. So just simply go to the video. You can go on YouTube and find it and click there and watch them. And by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, as always, remember to give me a like down there, comment if you can, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. Now, Thomas Frey, who is a futurist, says that if you want to become a highly sought after freelancer, you will need to master, among other things, the following items. This is not exhaustive, but true enough. So what I want you to do, I want you to grab a pen and paper, or you can text right on the chat or on Facebook, but just remember to really take these points. When I give these points to you, don't be one of those people that just goes, that was really powerful. But take note of these words. Them key questions. 1, do you have the skill I'm about to mention? If not, what are you going to do about making sure you acquire it? And then 2, how will you apply it in your life now? I want you, let's do this, because this is very serious, okay? I'm gonna kind of type this down. So number 1, do you have this skill currently? Okay, this is a very, very important question. Question number 2, let me even put them here nicely. Number 1, do you have the skill currently? And number 2, how will you apply this skill currently? No, I can't use that word again. The skill in your life now. Question. All right, so these are the 2 questions. All I'm doing is just trying to make sure that they appear both on Facebook and on this platform. So let's go over to Facebook and I put it down. Now, these are very, very important questions. So once again, I have asked, do you have this working? Type in the comment, networking. Okay, networking. So you can type in the comment, type on Facebook. So, as the saying goes, your network is indeed has a bearing on how far in life you will ascend away from. I have personally seen for myself that this whole idea of networking is very powerful. That's why you need to make sure, A, you plug into platforms which are in your profession. So let's imagine like my wife, she's a baker. So you make sure that you plug into the baking circles. So in Zambia, they've got Z Bakers, and I don't know which other groups they have. I know Z Bakers because she wears the t-shirt sometimes when they do the train. When she did training last time, that's what they wore. So sometimes she'll wear that t-shirt, so I know Z Bakers. But I know there are a number of them. It's not just Z Bakers, but there are a number. Some are very professional because the kind of people that sit in those are very high level. And then others are iffy and low. My suggestion is try plug into all of them. Now, if you notice, in fact, just plug into all of them, because truth be told, you can learn stuff from especially those up there, but even those at your level and sometimes even lower. You will be surprised what you'll be able to learn in this circle. So make sure you plug in. If there's an association which has a membership, be a member of that. Why does it make a difference? Because when you network and you connect with these platforms where you're a member, one of the biggest pluses that happens is that you're able to be informed of the latest developments in your space. This is something a lot of people don't take advantage of. You can't be an island out there. I've heard people say, well, I can learn on individuals who charge for these things, have gone out there, they have researched, they have put that subject and item in some orderly manner, they have removed the fluff and the stuff that doesn't work, and they have kept what is the certain solid formula. So you can't turn around and say, hey, this stuff is all on Google. Yes, of course it's on Google, but do you know what's necessary and what isn't? And I have seen it repeatedly from my wife. That's why I like using her example. I have seen her get formulas for particular types of cakes online. And what's interesting to note is even on YouTube, there are certain things that will not reveal. The secret formulas or differences that make their cakes come out the way they come out. They will leave out certain very vital information. I've seen for myself, for example, I'll give a very good example. The other day, we were making something called a quiche, very yummy pie-like snack. Well, it's not a snack, but it's a pie, but it's a special kind of pie. You know, American style pie, you know, the big one that they cut into slices. And so, yeah, so we're making a quiche. And she had forgotten slightly like how to make it. So she went on YouTube, got the formula, and person explained and explained, mentor, Auntie Vicky, who taught me how to make a quiche. So let me give her a call. And that was really interesting situation, because when she called Auntie Vicky, but use water and milk or something to mix to create that dough. And then when she called Auntie Vicky said, no, you don't use water, because water will not give you the crust the way you want it. The best is soda water. Now, can you imagine that? That's club soda. So one person says water, the other says club soda, but the club soda version is way better than the water version. Now, do you see the difference? It's such a simple, small difference, but what you get as a result is worlds apart. And that's why networking, ladies and gentlemen, becomes very important. I've seen from my wife's business things like sugarcraft, fondant preparation, or whatever it is that she does, her expertise, cake mixtures, you know, even a simple cake like a vanilla cake, okay? I've seen different formulas that my wife would use. One of the most amazing is the use of sour milk, for example. Now, I'm not a baker, so I don't know how she does the mixture. But what I know is I've seen her do a sour milk cake. I've seen her do a normal milk cake. I've seen her do for mixing fino. I've seen her do cream. And each one is very different. And that's why being in a network and learning from experts is a lifesaver. That's why some people can't improve. You eat the cake, you go, and then others, it's like, oh my God, this cake is from heaven. And the difference, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what I'm saying. It's networking, it's being plugged to experts, it's being connected to individuals who know their craft and choosing to be humble and learning all the time. You see, it doesn't matter what level you reach, you are always learning. That's why some of us make it a massive point to always be networking, always finding yourself in different circles. For us men, for example, belonging to a golf club is an asset, depending what level you're at, because you're in a place like a golf club. Drinking where drinks are expensive, I always say this all the time. If you go where drinks are cheap, you find cheapskates there. And I'm in no way belittling anybody. If you want to choose to go drink in a tavern, that's your business. But I assure you, the type of people that go to taverns are not the type of people that go to golf clubs. They are not the same. And if you want to find yourself picking up those lucrative $2-3 million contracts, you will not find them at the top. And I assure you, you will find them at a golf club and a high-end club. So you want to be a member of such setups, and you want to be in there. Now, the second skill, so number one is networking. Number two, write this down, tracking down potential gigs. Gigs is spelled G-I-G-S. So tracking down potential gigs. Okay, that's number two. Now, this comes chiefly from your network and which circles you monitor. You see that? So you need to ensure that you're affiliated to all relevant associations, organizations, and networks. That's so you see the network thing keeps coming up. The big gigs, the big jobs, the big consultancies come because of the network you're in. So for example, my mentor, Shiva gets a lot of jobs to apply, but the truth of the matter is he gets all those gigs because of the circle that he is in. And that's why you want to be in those with you belonging to the right circles. So for example, this Friday, I had the privilege of being invited. My wife and I attended the Zaki Gala dinner. That's Zaki, Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where they were celebrating their annual gala dinner. Very interesting. In that dinner, we sat on a table, had a good time networking with brothers. But what I noticed, and sisters, of course, what I noticed is that you have a lot of high-level, high-end corporate types, CEOs, industry captains, minister, people in commerce, people in government, quasi-government organizations who are movers and shakers in the business space. That's the kind of place you want to go with your cards. You want to network. You want to meet with people. You want to exchange contacts so that you can connect later. In fact, if I were you, and if you're in that space, you want to be a member of the chamber. And normally what the chamber does is they work through the various district chambers. So there are district chambers, and you can belong to any one of them. These district chambers are very useful because they are great for networking. Everyone who's a member of the chamber always receives special preference, which will only be availed to members of the chambers of commerce. The other thing that's great, this Friday, they were signing a memorandum of understanding between the Chinese Chamber of Commerce and the Zambia Chamber of Commerce. Remember, we also have the American Chamber of Commerce and the Zambia Chamber of Commerce. We have the British Chamber of Commerce and the Zambia member. So what you want to do is be connected to these, because there are so many gigs, opportunities, business exchanges that take place in such circles. So question, what circles are you in? Again, it comes up. That's why you want to be a part of these things. So if you're listening to me and you're in business and you're not part of a chamber, my question to you is why? Why aren't you part of any chamber? If you are in this call and you claim to be a business person, but you didn't even know this information, how is that possible? That's why you're watching this, that's why you're listening to this, and that's why you realize it's so important to be a part of that circle. Because when you're a part of that circle, this gives you the opportunity to be seen and to potentially get yourself some gigs. Number three, this is very important, this one, writing concept notes and proposals. You know, in the beginning, I was afraid of this one. I always thought, oh my God, I need an expert. Oh my God, I need an expert. But every time you go to experts, you realize, the money that you pay, it's a lot of money. And most times, remember, it's a chicken and egg situation. You're just starting. You hardly have any money to write home about. And then now you need somebody to write a proposal, the money to pay the person to write the proposal. And so the chicken and egg scenario. So what you realize is that you need to learn the skill. So it's an absolutely vital skill. If you lack this, you are screwed. You must acquire at all costs. So writing concept notes, like every other skill, can be learned. You simply go on Google and type down template for business proposal, template for concept note. And if you've got a bit of money, do what we have done. Get yourself Business in a Box Pro. Business in a Box Pro. That's what it's called. Business in a Box. Business in a Box is one of those monster tools that you'll find online with over 1,000 contracts and layouts, templates already prepared. Of course, these are mainly prepared for the US and European market. So they are not Africa sensitive, but what I've found very interesting is that we as a colony of Britain use a British, so you can actually get yourself that and you won't be far from the template accepted and using that. So you pay money for it. Of course, it's not free. It's going to cost you money back. And it's been a lifesaver. So if you want to create MOUs, you want to create special agreements of all manner, whether it's employee agreements. And you know, what you do is once you get the template, you just compare with what sits at Ministry of Labor, for example, for workers. Then you consult an HR person so that they guide. I mean, all these things, but having these concepts and proposals is a lifesaver, because later when you need to, you know, everybody's going to ask you, whenever you go pitch anything, there'll always be that question, okay, can you send me your thing in writing? Let me just look at what you're saying. So you need to know how to write. You need to write how to a concept note. And these things are usually 3-4 pages at most. And you'll be amazed the number of tools that sit online that you can use to help you write a proposal or do a profile. And you can do a pretty funky looking profile. You'll be amazed what you can get away with for free online today. I'm telling you, that's what I can just tell you. The key here is the work. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the research. You got to learn. And so if you learn that there's somebody teaching how to write good copy, go pay for the course. $20, $50, $100, pay for it. Learn. Get download those, you will not have wasted your time, you will not have wasted money. This will be the difference between you and your competitors, because you might find that all your competitors also cannot write concept notes, and so this sets you an edge ahead. Another strategy is, if you're just bad at writing and you're not good at these things, you can partner with somebody who's good at writing these things, and then they can become part of your business. This is how sometimes we leverage in order to progress. That's why there are corporations. If you understand the meaning of the word corporation, it means different entities with different skills and abilities coming together to put their input. Number 4, forming contracts. I think I've kind of touched on that already. That's number 4. You can write it down. Forming contracts, another vital skill, as it will make the difference when it comes to covering you in the event of any adversity in future. Learn to form contracts. I have seen people being cheated out of really powerful things because they didn't sign a contract, they didn't put an agreement in place. So the standard that is going nowadays is a non-disclosure agreement and a memorandum of understanding. These are the two standard documents together. And it's not always that you have to form a corporation. You can just come up with an agreement where each entity remains independent and separate, but you have you work together and you do this for the sake of whatever you're trying to acquire. So signing contracts, putting an agreement in place is very important. And when somebody sends you a contract, please don't just sign. Read it through. Read it through to the end. Get an idea what the contract is saying. If there are things you don't agree with, have your accounting. Big one. With ZRA tightening their tax net, that they're actually becoming more efficient. And this coming year, there's all these arrangements around withdrawing tax now. They're doing even more. You know, we've already gone Smart Zambia. We've got the electronic platform sitting. So it's getting tighter and tighter. So now more than ever, anyone running their own business must ensure compliance or face gargantuan fees and possible conviction. You don't want to be in trouble with the tax office. So you want to make sure you are compliant. That's one of the biggest things. That's why we look for accountants. That's why you work with accountants, professional ones, by certified accountants. Don't go after any Tom Dick. No, cheap is expensive. You may pay very, very nice and get into a lot of trouble to the point of bankruptcy. The right accountants, they guide you on what is prevailing when it comes to the statutory taxes. This cannot be overemphasized. So This, even as an individual, yes, because I'm sure some of them are like, but what about if you're an individual? Yes, that's why there's something called a business name. So there's a business name and there's a limited company. These are all ways of doing business. So if you're a sole trader, you can have a business name, you can run with that as a business, but you must pay all statutory, obligatory taxes. Taxes are not a negotiation. Every citizen must pay them. So if you don't pay them, you will face the wrath of the law for not paying taxes. They don't play with taxes. In America, they're even more serious than here. So, but we're getting there, because remember, with all these things like the IMF agreement and conditionalities, these are some of the things that they get tighter on. So they will be taxing everybody, including the so-called informal sector. And remember, if your business grows big to a point where you start earning millions, let me assure you, you are a red flag, and they will see you and they will come for you. So you better make sure you are compliant. Number 6, sales, another very critical component. A lot of people kind of don't get this one serious. It's one of the 2 critical success activities in business. Remember, the other one is to master the skill, or and freelancers are no exception. So if you are a business person, what's your marketing strategy? What are you doing to get your message in front of customers? And should they be attracted to business to facilitate the quick closure of a sale? That's why we have all these platforms. We've created digital platforms. You need sales, because if you don't have sales, forget, your business will close. Number 7, scheduling. This is another big one. And this is what both Dr. Nelly and Auntie Sylvia teach. Scheduling is time management. And the basic idea is that time management is a critical factor to managing and the many moving parts more efficiently. A lack in this area proves deadly to your progress and ultimate success. You'll be surprised how people all over the place, hazard arrangements, and at the end of the day, you find them telling you, oh, you mean it's today our meeting? Oh my God. I mean, really, how do you run a business here? You don't even know when you've scheduled meetings. You don't have a diary. You don't have some kind of planner. You just wake up in the morning and run around without any plan. What kind of person are you? There's no way you're going to progress like that. So you've got to make sure you learn how to manage your time, your diary, time mapping, which is a much more complex method Dr. Nelly teaches. And Sylvia has her mindset change program, which does the whole time management on steroids. Very powerful. These are things you got to work with. So you got to work with tools. We use a lot of tools. We've got reminders on the phone, reminders on the computer, Outlook, task management, blah, 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 blah. Align to your goals and objectives on a 3-month basis, 6-month basis, 1-year basis. What are you doing? Do you have a strategic roadmap for 2023, or are you just floating like a feather in the wind? And then number 7, the final one, is project management. So now this is another one, ladies and gentlemen, which is a big deal, okay? As a freelancer, there are going to be opportunities to head large undertakings which would have many components within them. And as such, this skill becomes absolute must. Okay, you can't, everyone, if you've done a good job of managing yourself and pushing your brand and whatever it is, there's gonna land on your laps an opportunity to run something with moving parts. If you have no idea how to manage a project, you're going to sink all the way to the bottom, because you won't know how to proceed. That's why you got to learn what it takes to manage a large group. So thankfully, all these things I've mentioned, all these 7 components, including project management, that you can get as a direct skill. And time management, 3 days. I mean, these are things available. 500 kwacha, 1,000 kwacha, 2,000 kwacha. You'll find these courses around. You will access them and learn. And it's not to learn to get a certificate. I don't care about the certificate. It's to learn so that you know what to do when next you have a project. What kind of documents do you need? What kind of systems do you need in place? What kind of personnel do you need in there? How do you manage that whole time? What are the key skills to manage a project well? How do you monitor and evaluate that? You see, these are important issues. So a lot of people you notice don't have these things, and that's why they fall apart. Now, these 7 things that I mentioned, let me go through them real quick. Number 1, networking. Number 2, tracking down potential gigs. Number 3, writing concept notes and proposals. Number 4, forming contracts. Number 5, managing accounting. Number 6, sales. Number 7, scheduling. It's 8. And number 8, project management. 8 key skills within the management of Kenya comes with the territory to control their own destiny, something most workers can only dream of. Let me say job holders. Now, this obviously calls for higher than ordinary levels of self-discipline, which unfortunately the majority lack, choosing to be told what to do and then doing just enough to meet their quota, but never outperforming their peers or themselves, making the prospect of being a great in this area very slim. But believe me when I say that this is definitely a skill master in order to see success as a great freelancer, mover, or shaker. So then, I'm closing with this. Are you going to begin walking the road for tomorrow or some vague point in the future? In the last transmission for this year, the last transmission next week, I'm going to be tackling the greatest enemy to progress in life today more than ever, and that is distractions and how to acquire skills of managing your distractions, something that the majority of people lack, unfortunately. So there you have it. That, my friends, is the 8 key areas. And so many people don't understand just how serious the concept and idea of being locked in to managing self is. This is how people like myself have managed to operate. And we will be operating at much higher levels because of these disciplines that I've just shared. So if you're listening to me today and you're hearing these things, I hope you're not one of those people that just says, oh, it's powerful. I hope you're one of those people that actually takes note of these things and locks them in as part of a deliberate campaign to change something about themselves. Remember, yesterday I closed with this. Yesterday I was at my other father's house, my uncle, and he's 72 now. And it was just nice to see how my uncle lives. He's very well off with my aunt and uncle. They're very, very well off. And he's a consultant, but it's the kind of, he gets very high level gigs. The average gig my uncle gets at his level today is $10,000 minimum average gig. And he'll do $10,000, he hits $50,000 to $60,000 a month. And that's just him with his outfit. He's got his workers, his sorted office, everything. But it's in his element. He's so relaxed in what he does. They're on holiday every quarter. My auntie and uncle travel all over the world. They're recently in the Maldives. The other time they were in is it Dubai or Qatar, wherever it was. They're always traveling. They're on these not boat rides. There's a bigger name for it. Ocean liner cruise ships, ships across the Pacific. They raise their kids. Kids are very comfortable, very responsible positions, and now they're enjoying their retirement. But it's so interesting. My uncle is supposed to be retired, but he's so good at what he does that most of these big corporations, all the big, if we had Zambia, what we call the Fortune 500 companies of Zambia, every one of them consult him on human resource. And his consultancy fees as a human resource consultant are no less than $10,000. And he is extremely comfortable. And I watched that and I said, wow, that's the level I want to reach as well. Well, probably even surpass him. But my point is, he is so well set now in his life. He works for purpose. That's the level they sit at. They were able to set that up at a whole other level. And these qualities I just outlined today, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's the level that my uncle is at. He's got resources available at the touch of a button to get any kind of work done. He outsources a lot to many. He has mentored many into the human resource space who have gone to be also of his discipline. This is what makes the difference. So even for you, as you watch today, as you listen, as we close, this is what you must begin to think about: the management of self. Have a great day. Catch you tomorrow with Auntie Sylvia, same time. Sorry for going 6 minutes over, but God bless you. Thanks, Auntie Sylvia. Cheerio.